Hello everyone and welcome back to Bring Me That Shawarma. Yeah, so I think the first one was called Fear and Loathing in something. I can't really read that. Samara? Yeah, that was what the first one was. It wasn't actually called Bring Me That Shawarma, so I apologize. This is the true Bring Me That Shawarma. And then there's the next one after that. So, without further ado, let's get started. See what other hellish horrors I have to deal with here. Let's read it real quick. It says, Roman is an ordinary courier from not the most prestigious food delivery company. Lately, strange things have been happening in the city. Animals have begun to behave differently, and the people around them seem to be in a sinister conspiracy. Will our protagonist be able to deliver the shawarma and still stay alive? I'm gonna say no, because that protagonist is being controlled by me, so we're already screwed. Finally, the first order after 4 grueling hours. But my time is over soon. I'd much rather just sit till the end. Unfortunately for me, now I have to go somewhere for an order. What's wrong with this life? I've been working properly for a year and always doing my best, but in the end, no orders, no money, and clients complain all the time. What's the point of this courier rating if there aren't many orders anyway? Flexible work schedule, high income, bonuses, and discounts in restaurants. Sounds like a dream job. Bullshit. I don't even have money for rent. And the problems with clients are more absurd after the other. The navigator can't find the right house, or the customer cancels the order when I'm already halfway there. People act like they don't want their food at all. Recently, I made a delivery to an upscale neighborhood. At the entrance, I met the concierge, but she didn't want to let me in. I immediately called the customer and he flatly refused to come get the food himself. Our company's support service was no help to me either. From the beginning, I didn't like the concierge. She looked like she'd been a patient in a nut house whom was released yesterday. Not to mention her eyes were sly, like the damn bald dude who put dill in my shawarma once. She had clearly gathered all the wisdom of life, rolled a joint out of it, and smoked cheekily in the face of anyone who had the audacity to cross her path. I couldn't and didn't want to trust her, but I had no choice. I couldn't think of anything better than to bribe and ask her to deliver the order to the customer. Of course, she kept both the money and food, so I got fined. But in this case, the customer's behavior and complaint can still somehow be understandable. Once, the restaurant forgot to put napkins in the bag, and so the customer complained to support that I had stolen them. Napkins? What the hell was that? Genius! There's nothing more to say. The jerk-off could have checked the receipt and asked me, since there are always a couple of tissues in my pocket. As you have already understood, the courier is always to blame. Of course, the strongest foundations of success are built from the stones thrown at you, but my nerves seem to give up before they are built. This time I was lucky and everything went without incident, but in the end I'm still not particularly happy about it. It feels like I'm earning less and less every day. What's next? Will they stop giving me shifts? I think it's time to consider changing jobs. As a last resort, I could try to get a position at a newly opened vape shop. 19 minutes till the end of my shift. I might as well start walking slowly towards home. What's this? An order of 20 shawarma and one as a gift. One as a gift? That is a total of 21! What is this? What are you doing? Okay. Loves that number. 21 is my lucky number. The stars have aligned. This is clearly a sign that it's too early to leave this job. After accepting the order, I went to the shawarma restaurant to pick up the food. Typical Oleg. Wait a minute, is that the same place? I finally arrived. Rot bar, typical Oleg. How is the large shawarma order coming along? Half of it is already done. The rest will take another 15 minutes. The order is pretty big, so no wonder it's not ready yet. I might as well order a coffee and talk to the cashier. I've always wondered why the sign changed the grill to rot. It's a long story. It's not like I'm in a hurry. Fine, then listen. There once was a businessman named Oleg. He didn't care what he invested his dough in as long as Oleg was in the name. That's how this place came to be. At first, everything was fine, but over time, the management began to save on ingredients and the quality of shawarma deteriorated. An act of rebellion was staged by school children who constantly kept correcting the word grill to rot on the sign. The phrase, "I loved you," Oleg, has become a local meme. So the quality of the shawarma here is so-so? Yep, but I didn't tell you that. But who would want to order so much shawarma from so far away? Surely there are better shawarma restaurants in that area. And what kind of address is this? I've never been there before. Where exactly did the order come from? Nizhny Podzuk Street? Oh god, I know I butchered that. Instead of the cashier's voice, I heard a different one from somewhere behind me. When I turned around, I couldn't even immediately see the person who was talking to me. Hey kid, it's a very dangerous neighborhood. You should stay out of it. What's wrong there? Real evil. I should talk in this voice. Real evil is taking up residence there. What do you mean? The reptiloids had their eye on the place a long time ago. I know this since I lived nearby. It all started with strange animal behavior and those damn magnetic storms. The sun was in its every 11 years active phase, and then those damn aliens heard every word I said. But how are things related? You don't know such simple things, little kid. So listen here. On days like this, when you say something, the solar wind picks up your voice, picks up your words, and converts them into vibrations for torsion fields. The alien tentacles pick up these vibrations. But you said they were reptiloids. Where did they get tentacles? And in general, torsional fields are complete nonsense. Jesus Christ, what am I reading here? Live longer than me and you'll understand that this world is more complicated than running around with orders, young scumbag kid. Don't tell me what to do, Granddad. I noticed an ominous glint under his hat. Oh no, it looks like you pissed him off. What makes you think that? If his artificial eye comes out of his socket, it's not good. It is said that in tense arguments it flies out. It can even cause a wound like a bullet. What are you whispering about, Greens? And where is this world headed if young people have a soaked bottom of shawarma instead of brains? Good God. Once you see a doggy round dance, you'll know what Granddad was talking about. Look, I graduated. Order of 21 shawarmas ready. Thank you, beautiful, but kind of weird cashier. You rescued me in time. 21? They're having a party, man. I know what I'm talking about. Shawarma is very popular with them. It's all they eat. It's like nutrition bars. Listen to me. Drop everything and run away while you're still alive. In my haste, I packed the order into my bag. All the shawarma fit in the backpack except for one. What to do? Tamp it down a little more? No, it's already full, and if I press down any harder, the shawarma bottom will burst. Since there was no free space in the backpack, I just put the last one in the pocket of my jacket. It was deep, which made the shawarma stick out of it halfway. It wasn't deep, my bad. I hope I don't lose it somewhere along the way. I hurried to the exit while the old man kept talking. The shawarma flopped from my pocket onto the floor, so I stopped to pick it up. Ooh, excuse me. Look, you're gonna bring an offering right into their clutches. Are you ready to betray the human race? I'm sick of this dude. Slightly pick up the shawarma, show Granddad where the crayfish spend the winter. Okay. Don't notice the old man's mistake. It's useless to replant an old tree. Guided by this simple truth, I ignored the old man and just walked away. On the way, I kept thinking about what he had said. Not that those words made an impression on me, but I also noticed that strange things were happening around me as of late. There was a story on TV. I didn't really watch it much, but sometimes I turn it on in the background while I'm playing Digger online. There's always some conspiracy nonsense on, and usually I don't even get into what's playing. But that time, the absurdity of the story caught my attention. There was a report about a girl who had her shawarma stolen right out of her hands by aliens. She was walking in the park one evening, enjoying her meal, when suddenly they, flying overhead, took the shawarma right with their light beam. Bullshit. Does anyone really believe what is shown out on the channel? What is shown on that channel? But after today, I can guess who does. That story isn't too concerning, but the distorted screams that sometimes come from the alleys at night, I don't even know how to describe them. It's like someone is shouting, more likely yelling, in different keys, and it gets interrupted. Its fragments are looped, rewound, and distorted, just like in some game with a lot of bugs. It makes me wonder if our world is just a matrix, but I reassure myself that maybe it's just some wandering DJs having fun. And doubting my own reality goes against my beliefs. But that's not all the weirdness I've noticed. I live on the first floor and I'm used to having people hanging around under my windows all the time. Oh, what is that? Every Tuesday from 4 to 6 in the afternoon, a pensioner at my apartment complex stares through the window. At first it annoyed me, but when I decided to look at the situation as it befits me At first it annoyed me, but then I decided to look at the situation as it befits me from a philosophical point of view. After all, what do I care about this harmless old lady? If she doesn't bother me, let her do what she wants. But 2 weeks ago, I noticed something strange. She always stood practically motionless, but this time her stillness was too unnatural. There was something strange, even frightening about her appearance. I still saw the same pensioner in front of me, but all my senses were screaming that something was wrong. Exhausted by uncertainty, I went outside and approached her. Everything in me froze with shock when I was close enough to see properly. I discovered that a cardboard cutout was standing instead of a real person. What the hell is going on? Who did this? Why? These questions worry me to this day. But the next week, the original pensioner returned, and I could breathe a sigh of relief. But wait till you hear this plot twist. After her return, pigeons began to sit in strange circles, like the witch rings that some mushrooms form. And some of the neighbors suddenly turned white. Soon they were all taken away by the riot police, both pigeons and neighbors. I'm sorry. What is this story? It's very strange, isn't it? Another incident happened on the train while I was going to another city for a meeting of Digger Online fans. There I had a strange dream that seemed more of a reality. I dreamt that I was going to the dining car to get something to eat in the middle of the night. I was separated from it by a single carriage, in which an hour ago many people were sitting. But now it was completely empty. although there were no stops to unload them. It puzzled me, but I was more glad that other people's feet weren't sticking out in the aisle. But when I reached the dining car, the situation took a surreal turn. Oh man, the aliens! Instead of people, creatures of an unknown species resembling multicolored octopuses sat everywhere. Their tentacles wriggled, making clicking and crackling noises. It was as though they were communicating. They communicated exactly until they noticed me. They froze momentarily, and their eyes with vertical pupils stared at me. Many, many eyes. My mind became clouded, and I don't remember how the dream ended. I woke up and didn't sleep a wink the rest of the way, let alone left my seat. And the moon, it's been brighter than usual. What if Granddad is right? What if there really is something sinister going on in the city? Reptiloids, aliens. It's hard to believe such things, but I can't ignore all the strange occurrences around me. What should I do? A shawarma fell out of my pocket. Oh, hi! Just as I picked it up, I suddenly noticed stray dogs. Oh! They were looking right at me, or rather at the shawarma. Damn it. I jump on my bike and sprint forward while the dogs rush after me. Despite the fact that I was pedaling as hard as I could, the cute yet scary looking mutts didn't think to lag behind. I could keep going at this speed for a long time, but there's a problem. The shawarma keeps falling out. The hungry dogs began to close the gap. One of them kept trying to catch the shawarma in its salivating jaw. Get off me! I was ready to fight to the end. But I was far from being superhuman, and after a while my legs were ready to fall off. It seemed that nothing could save me when suddenly a flock of pigeons flew at the dogs. Oh God! There were so many pigeons that the flea-ridden canines had to retreat. I didn't tempt fate to shake each pigeon's shriveled little legs in thanks, and instead hurried out of there. What the hell was that? Why did the pigeons suddenly attack the dogs? Maybe they just got tired of the loud barking that echoed throughout the neighborhood. Who the hell knows? This is proof that pigeons aren't real birds. Birds aren't real, they're all surveillance drones. Or at least pigeons are. I don't know the whole conspiracy theory about that, but I'm pretty sure it's the pigeons. And that people are most skeptical of. Shit, but what about the shawarma? Whew, still there. Only by some miracle it didn't fall out of my pocket. Again. The chase took too much energy. It would be nice to have something to eat. Oh God, okay, this is where we start making some decisions. I feel like if I eat this shawarma, something bad is going to happen. So I'm not going to eat it. And I think I'm gonna save here, actually. This will be my first save. No, oh, I should have saved before. Let me do that. I'll save here. Okay. Then make the decision, don't eat the shawarma. And then I'll save there. So this is me eating the shawarma. Remember that. The second one, I ate the shawarma. Okay? Okay. No, I can't. It's part of the customer's order. Here's the house. I need to deliver the food. It felt like it took forever to get here. Small victories add color to life, and the feeling of imminent success even made me forget about the pain in my legs for a while. The place is terrible. Even with a navigator, it is quite difficult to find it, and the yard is a real garbage dump, and not to mention the building looks like it's about to collapse. Of course, the shawarma fell out of my pocket. Again. God, this place makes me feel uncomfortable. In tense moments, it usually helps me to chat with others. I'm actually quite an outgoing person. You can get a lot of interesting ideas from talking to people. And extraordinary people have always inspired me. Even with that granddad, we could have had an interesting dialogue if I had more time and he had less impertinence. So now I decided to look around for someone to talk to, if there are any people here, of course. Oh, there's a pretty girl out for a smoke. At least something around here is normal. I think I'll talk to her while I have time. Hey! Hi. Don't many people live here? It's only at first glance. Maybe. I got a very large order of shawarma. You need to get this to apartment 17, don't you? Yes. You're out of luck. Why is that? I've been watching this gang for months now, and I can say with absolute certainty that something is wrong with them. Ever since they settled here, pigeons have been flying around the place. Some white substance is constantly spilled near the door, and then there are some unearthly mantras heard from the toilets every night. I wake up every now and then because of strange yelling. And that's not all. It would take more than an hour to tell you about all the strange things that's happened here. I see. It all sounds scary. And those weird yells? On the other hand, maybe she's exaggerating and she just has noisy neighbors that she's sick of. Maybe that's why she makes them out to be crazy. You may not believe me, but if you go there, I can't guarantee you'll make it out alive. A job is a job, and I have to do it. I mean, I know times are tough, but I don't think, this kind of job is worth risking your life over, Is that I guess that is the mentality nowadays. Given the whole cost of living and everything, especially if you live in expensive places like California and stuff, you have to do what you can to make ends meet. It is crazy. It is actually crazy. So I guess I can't, blame him for doing this, but at the same time, I don't encourage it, If there's a better way, find it or something like that. I don't know. I don't believe in what I'm saying anymore. Then come on in. I'm just about done. The girl threw out her finished cigarette and we went into the building together. I live on the 4th floor and you have to go to the 5th. Suddenly, the light in the stairwell went out. How often does this happen here? Not often, but usually after the obscurity of the neighbors have reached an extraordinary level. Still sure you want to go there? We reached the 4th floor. The girl stopped and looked at me expectantly. Hell, what if all those rumors are true? Granddad's words, the stranger's stories, and all the things I saw with my own eyes. What if I really do fall into some creepy trap? Wouldn't it be better to leave before it's too late? Go with the stranger. Oh no, I gotta save again. I will save here. Can I name these? You know what? What is this? Let's quick save. I'm gonna save this on page 2. I don't know if this makes sense. It makes sense to me. Okay. Let's complete this order. I don't think trusting her is a good idea. Let me save that too. Boop. Alright. I don't think trusting her is a good idea. What she said sounded more like the ravings of a crazy person. Besides, I absolutely have to complete this order. After all, it could prove fatal. Not to mention the big fine if I don't do it. A job is a job. I didn't come all this way for nothing. As you wish. The stranger disappeared behind a door, and I went up to the next floor. I reached the right apartment. Well, this story is finally coming to a close. Oh, whose eyes are these? The door was opened by a girl. I couldn't help but notice what was going on behind her. People were looking out from around the corners with interest, coming closer, looking at me with a kind of predatory curiosity. Hey, get away from me. How many of them are there? Here's your order. She gave me a very strange look and then yelled. Guys, dinner's here. Someone strong... Oh, I'm the food. Someone's strong hand grabbed me and pulled me inside. The door slammed shut. Only a lonely, wrinkled shawarma was left lying on the doorstep. Oh God. Okay. All right. So that was a dead end. Cool. So I do know I have other choices. Great. So I think if I go back here, no. Shoot. Let me go back. It was here. No, I don't. I want to load. It was here. Okay. Okay, eat the shawarma. I looked at the shawarma. Even though it was all crumpled and the sauce was leaking in places, I still had a desire to eat it. I have no choice. After all, there's 20 more left. When the customer notices it's missing, I'll be far away. I unpacked the shawarma and took a bite. Oh! Instead of the usual stuffing, something dark and incomprehensible was looking at me from inside. It was staring, 2 orange eyes on a small blue head. What the hell? Instead of shawarma, I had a pigeon wrapped in pita bread. The bird broke free and flew away as the pita fell to the ground. My whole life and universe flew before my eyes along with that pigeon. The words of the old lunatic from the bar began to echo in my head. How could I be so blind? After that, there was no doubt. I had to escape. It doesn't matter where, just as long as it's far away from here. To Siberia. In a half an hour, I was already at the border of Samara. The road ahead was not an easy one. The shawarmas in my bag should last me a long time, and by the time it's over, I'll be safe. The first thing I'll need is that granddad's number. He may be my only ally in this crazy world. Okay, is that another ending? Okay, I do want to see what happens if I, instead of picking up the shawarma. Oh yeah, that was, okay. So that, I don't know what ending that was, but it was an ending. And so let's go here and we'll go with the stranger. You're right. Something bad is going on here. I'm going to get out of here while I still have my legs. I turned around to leave, but the slam of the entryway door made me freeze in place. There were 2 pairs of footsteps on the stairs. The unknown persons were talking, and the only word I could make out was shawarma. Damn, you're too late. It's one of their gang. What do I do? You can hide at my place. Hurry. We went into the apartment and the girl immediately closed the doors, securing each lock one by one. Lena. Roman. Circumstances are strange, but nice to meet you. Huh, the same. We took off our shoes, threw off our jackets, and went into the kitchen. Lena was hospitable and immediately made us tea. How long do we have to sit here? There was a noise coming from above, as if a crowd of people were dancing right over our heads. Along with the stomping, there were chants that grew quieter and then turned into an outright yell. Now I understood what the girl was talking about. Till morning, most likely. But if things go wrong with this supply of shawarma, we could be here for a long time. I laughed. Despite everything, I felt safe now. So, tell me about yourself. Where to start? I studied to be a philosopher, then I went to work as a courier. It may not sound very cool, but it was only for a while. Oh, I even started writing a book. So far, it's mostly notes on my phone, but still. While I was talking, I looked around. The kitchen was quite cozy, despite the slight clutter. I have a feeling that she's one of them. I think she's one of them. This is kind of strange. There was a pizza box next to the sink, and there were tea bags and a few candles scattered on the table. Among the flower pots on the windowsill, there were small packages of pills, a roll of rope, a whip, a gag. What the? The girl I was talking to realized that it was her turn to tell me about herself. Strange rumors in this building are not just about my neighbors. She smiled slyly, and I felt uncomfortable. What a mess I'm in. I don't know what's worse, Getting caught by cultists or a crazy BDSM fan? There was a heaviness all over my body. I tried to get up, but my arms and legs wouldn't listen to me anymore. She drugged the tea! I looked at the cup. Now I realized what a strange taste the tea had. Somewhere in the hallway, the shawarma from my pocket laid pathetically. Damn, how dizzy. I watched helplessly as Lena took off my shirt and began to tie my body with rope. She kept saying something, but I wasn't listening anymore. The dancing and mantras of the neighbors, meanwhile, had reached their peak. They're totally freaking out in there. It felt like the ceiling was about to collapse on our heads. They're really going wild today. Even the walls are wobbly. This was really happening. The whole house is groaning and shaking, the pipes howling like the pack of dogs chasing shawarma. Great. I'm double trapped, and all I can do is watch. Oh god! That don't look very good. What the? Is there really some kind of white liquid coming out the pipes? Judging by the sounds, the neighbors began to panic. Lena stopped tying me up and turned her attention to the increasing flood. Crap! They pumped that shit all over the place? The pipes finally burst, the white substance gushing out of the cracks and crevices that rapidly covered the walls. The wild thundering sound made my ears perk up. Before the building collapsed, I managed to look out the window. A huge light yellow moon was shining in the ominous red sky. Is that it? That was it. Okay, I don't think there's really anything else I could possibly do. Let me try going here and I'll go back. TV stuff. Okay. So I think this is the last choice I have. So show Granddad where the crayfish spend their winter. The old man is too annoying with his buzzing about conspiracy theories, but responding rudely to him was a bad decision. Roman is now one of the ingredients of shawarma in this bar. Okay. Wow. Interesting. I didn't realize that I was actually going to be able to make some decisions in here. And I don't know if did I get everything? Excuse me. I want to say yes. Did I think I finished this. Yeah, I did. Okay. Interesting. So that was Bring Me That Shawarma, the actual Bring Me That Shawarma. I find it incredibly interesting that somebody is even making like creepy horror cult like fiction about shawarma. Like, who even thinks of this stuff, you know? Who would think to make a horror movie or game about food? I guess aside from Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, if anybody's, you know, old enough to remember that movie, that was a thing. If you don't believe me, look it up. You can look it up right now. You're looking it up right now? You believe me? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? I think it was Attack of the Giant Killer Tomatoes. Not just, mind you, these weren't small regular tomatoes. These were giant human-sized tomatoes. They didn't have faces, and they would wobble around. I remember that movie so vividly. But yeah, you know, it's just like, who thinks of this stuff? It's interesting to say the least. I would say that. It's definitely interesting. But with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, as it does help the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Bye.